The first time I saw my house, I could already picture the life I would have there. A small cottage, just 40 minutes from the city. White siding, dark green shutters, and a wraparound porch where I could sip coffee in the mornings, wrapped in a soft sweater, listening to the birds wake up with me. A garden waiting to be brought back to life. 2 cozy bedrooms, perfect for one person and maybe a cat someday. A sunroom that soaked up every bit of daylight, the kind of place where time slowed down. I had spent my entire adult life planning for this moment, saving, living frugally, making sacrifices. While my friends took extravagant vacations, I took the bus to work. While my coworkers laughed at my habit of bringing homemade lunches, I was building something they couldn't see: security, freedom, peace. And now, after years of waiting, I was finally ready to buy a home. A home just for me. I was still staring at the listing, dreaming about my future, when my phone rang. Mom. She never called without a reason. I sighed and picked up. "Don't forget, we're expecting you for dinner on Saturday," she said, her voice carrying that subtle edge, a command disguised as a reminder. I knew what to expect. Dad grumbling about gas prices. Mom nagging about my eating habits. My sister Victoria complaining about her small apartment and money problems. It would be like every other family dinner. But what I didn't know was that this one would change everything. I arrived at my parents' house at exactly 5:05 p.m. on Saturday. Victoria's minivan was already in the driveway, which meant I had to park on the street. Inside, chaos was in full swing. My sister's 3 kids ran through the living room like a hurricane. My mother hovered over everyone, fussing, adjusting, scolding. My father sat in his recliner, flipping through the newspaper, waiting for dinner to be served like a king expecting his feast. I had perfected the art of mentally checking out during these family gatherings. While my sister complained about her expensive rent and my brother-in-law moaned about work stress, I scrolled through house listings under the table. One, in particular, caught my eye. A cottage with a large kitchen, an old brick fireplace, and a sunroom that practically glowed with natural light. I felt a small thrill in my chest. This could be it. This could be mine. That's when my mother's voice cut through the noise like a knife. "What's so interesting on that phone? You've barely touched your food." Everyone turned to look at me. For a moment, I considered lying. I could say it was work. Or a friend. But the excitement was still warm in my chest, and before I could stop myself, I told the truth. "I'm looking at houses," I said. "I think I'm going to buy one soon." The silence was instant. Even the children stopped moving. Forks hovered mid-air. Glasses of water sat untouched. Victoria looked up so fast I thought she might give herself whiplash. Mom blinked. Dad's newspaper lowered. Nathan, my brother-in-law, suddenly became very interested in his mashed potatoes. It was like I had announced I was moving to Mars. "A house?" Mom repeated, like she had misheard. "Yes," I said, suddenly uneasy. "Just looking at options right now. Nothing definite." Victoria cleared her throat, her voice oddly sharp. "What kind of house?" I hesitated. I could feel the shift in the air, the weight of unspoken thoughts pressing in. I shrugged, trying to play it casual. "Something small, cozy, just for me." That's when my parents exchanged a look. The kind of look they had mastered after decades of marriage. A look that said, "We have a plan." And in that moment, I knew, whatever they were thinking, I wasn't going to like it. A week later, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. Mom, 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 Mom. I ignored the first 3 calls, assuming she wanted to nag me about something insignificant. But when the 4th call came through, I sighed and answered. "Mom, I'm in the middle of work." "Oh, sweetheart." She was practically trembling with joy. "I found the perfect house for you." I frowned. "Wait. What?" "Martha from church told me about a listing in her neighborhood. It's perfect." I could already feel a headache forming. "Mom, I didn't ask for help finding a house." She steamrolled over me. "It has 6 bedrooms, a huge master suite. The backyard even has a playground already installed. And it's walking distance to St. Mary's Elementary. Can you believe it?" I rubbed my temples. "Mom," I said slowly, "I don't need 6 bedrooms. I don't have kids." Her excitement turned to irritation in an instant. "You need to think about the future. You can't just be selfish." I froze. Selfish. That's when it hit me. This wasn't about me, and I was right. That night, Victoria started sending listing after listing of huge family homes. Every single one had at least 4 bedrooms, a massive yard, and was close to schools. By the 20th message, I had stopped checking. They weren't listening to me. They were planning for my sister. At the next family dinner, I dropped the bombshell. I already bought a house. The silence was deafening. I took a deep breath. It's a beautiful cottage. 2 bedrooms, a sunroom, a garden. Just a little place for me. That's when my father's fist slammed onto the table. "Are you out of your mind?" Even the kids jumped. Mom's face turned red. "Victoria?" She looked strangely calm, and then, in the most casual voice, she said, "But where are we supposed to live?" I blinked. My stomach dropped. "What?" Mom crossed her arms. "We thought you were buying a house for the family, for Victoria and the kids, so they could move in with you." I let out a shaky breath, and then, for the first time in my life, I said, "No." The word hung in the air, heavier than anything I had ever said before. The chaos started immediately. Mom jumped to her feet, hands flying. "How can you be so cruel to your own sister?" Dad's voice boomed across the table. "After everything we've done for you, this is how you repay us?" Nathan kept his head down, suddenly very focused on his plate, as if he had nothing to do with this. "And Victoria. Oh, Victoria." Her voice was sharp, betrayed. "You know how hard it is for us. You know we have no space. And you're sitting there, buying some selfish little house just for yourself?" I gripped the edge of the table. My entire life, I had been the afterthought. The one who got the hand-me-downs. The one who paid her own way while Victoria got handed everything. And they still expected me to sacrifice for her. I exhaled slowly. "I'm not your backup plan," I said. My voice was steady. "I'm not responsible for your choices, and I am not giving up my house for you." Victoria's calm mask finally cracked. "We'll be so cramped," she wailed. "Charlotte has ballet. Lucas has soccer. We need space." I met her gaze, unflinching. "Then buy your own house." The table fell silent. For the first time in my life, I saw it. The truth. They had never seen me as an equal. They had seen me as a resource, a safety net, a backup plan, but not anymore. I stood up. My chair scraped against the hardwood floor. "This conversation is over." Mom's voice turned sharp with rage. "You need to cancel this ridiculous purchase immediately. Barbara's house is perfect, right here in the neighborhood, plenty of room for everyone." I turned to leave. No. And this time, it was final. The knocking started 3 days later. Loud, relentless. Bam, bam, bam! I nearly dropped the coffee mug I was packing. "Open this door right now!" Dad's voice roared from the other side. "We know you're in there!" I froze. My heart pounded. Then came Mom. "You are making a terrible mistake. We need to talk." I took a deep, shaking breath. And then I did something I never thought I'd do. I picked up my phone. "If you don't leave," I called out, "I'm dialing the police." Silence. Then Dad's voice, low, furious. "You wouldn't dare! Beep! Beep! Beep!" I pressed the numbers, loud enough for them to hear. Mom gasped. "We're leaving," she snapped, her voice like ice. "But this isn't over." I waited until their footsteps disappeared. Then I sank to the floor, my hands trembling. This was war. The messages started the next day. First, from Victoria. A picture of Charlotte and Lucas crammed onto a bunk bed. "Look how little space they have." Charlotte can't even have a desk for her homework. Then another, Andrew's crib, squeezed into a corner. He wakes up every time we come to bed. This isn't fair to him. When I didn't answer, the tone changed. You always were Dad's least favorite. Mom cries herself to sleep because of you. I blocked her. Then she used Nathan's phone. Blocked. She made new accounts. Blocked. Then came the family attack. Aunt Marie, sweetheart, I just heard what's happening. Surely you can find it in your heart to help family? Uncle Bob, kid, you need to think about what really matters. Family comes first. My mother's church friend, your mother is devastated. How could you do this to her? Even my high school teacher messaged me. I always thought you were such a kind student. I'm so disappointed to hear about this situation with your sister. None of them asked about me. None of them cared how I felt. I went to my cell carrier. The next day, changed my number. Gave it to only my employer and a few trusted friends. And just like that, the noise stopped. Moving day was quiet. No more calls. No more guilt trips. I stood in my new living room, surrounded by boxes and possibilities. That night, I sat on my wraparound porch, tea in hand, listening to the crickets instead of my mother's voice, telling me what I owed Victoria. For the first time in my life, I felt free. Victoria's apartment complex was sold. Every tenant got a 60-day eviction notice. She was desperate. Nathan finally caved and emailed me. Not Victoria. Him. It was professional. Almost polite. We're struggling to find a place within our budget. Would you consider rethinking housing arrangements? The old me might have felt guilty, might have considered helping. Instead, I sent them a list of affordable apartments and wished them good luck. Blocked. Mom took a different approach. She showed up at my office, tears in her eyes. Your father and I aren't getting any younger. We always thought we'd all be together. I nodded politely. Then I said, my financial advisor warned me not to mix family and finances. Her face turned red, but in the middle of my corporate office, she couldn't cause a scene. She left furious, and I left with a promotion. I got a job in London, an executive position, a beautiful company-provided flat, a life far, far away. I posted the announcement on LinkedIn. The comments flooded in. Colleagues, friends, mentors. You deserve this. So proud of you. What an amazing opportunity. And from my family? Silence. Until Victoria posted this on Facebook. Some people forget where they came from. Family means nothing to them. Mom started sharing articles about selfish children who abandon their parents. I didn't care. Because as I sat in my London apartment sipping my coffee, looking out over the city skyline, I knew one thing for certain. I won. Not because I got rich, not because I got promoted, not because I left, but because I finally, truly let them go. Sometimes the best revenge isn't fighting back. It's moving on. It's drinking tea on a quiet porch. It's sleeping in a house where no one expects anything from you. It's thriving, and that's exactly what I'm doing. The war is over, and I'm the only one who walked away free. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.